Good afternoon, everybody. As I said, I'm Luke Bogatz. This is Trevor Ewan, and we represent Corkboard, which is an event advertisement platform where you can find the perfect something to do. We are currently in the testing phase, pre-revenue. I'm sorry. So today, businesses are operating in the experience economy. What this means is that businesses are vested in marketing and selling an experience in addition to their typical wares. Traditionally, these experiences would be offered in something that would be a weekly or recurring special. And the whole point of this is to attract new customers or attract previous customers back to the business. So businesses are marketing events such as happy hours and beer tastings, gallery events, as well as workshops, trivia nights, as well as special events that take advantage of the weather, such as Snowmageddon-related happy hours, as well as philanthropic like pet adoptions.
So the problem businesses are trying to solve is a marketing problem. And the first is that their existing platforms are circular. They're made to give out information to existing customers. We're thinking flyers and website, existing domains for marketing. Publications has a certain time value to it. The information fades after news media gets a hold of it, and shortly later you lose that kind of new marketing that comes in from that. There's a certain serendipity to all this marketing. You don't actually know if the right kind of customers, right kind of potential customers are looking at your marketing. And then there's also a silo effect. Every new channel that a business adds to their marketing initiative is a new time, is a new effort, is a new potentially person they have to pay. And that leads us to the fact that all this does cost businesses a lot of money. The kind of small businesses we're targeting spend 5 to 7% of their annual budget on marketing. So whatever the solution is, it should save time for them, it should be easy to do, but it should still let them manage the data of their event. And what we've done is built out a dashboard where businesses get to manage data in a single source. This is what we call post once, publish everywhere.
And so using this model, our goal is to connect these silos. So when a business provides their event information into the Corkboard platform, what they're doing is allowing Corkboard to distribute that event information across multiple marketing channels, such as social media, third-party event applications that have a vested interest in attracting consumers with event data, as well as Corkboard destination platforms that do the same. By doing this, we're making event information that businesses are offering ubiquitous and easy to find for the consumer. And in making it easy to find for the consumer, we're allowing more eyes on this business event and more eyes on the business itself, ultimately bringing new consumers and new customers to this business. So the event space is large and diverse, but it's also rather crowded. We see opportunity in the local event space, which is non-ticketed event items. And in this space, this is where Corkboard is different than the other competitors. We focus on the business first and the business's events. And by doing so, we have local and accurate event information that actually pairs with ticketed event information that these other applications are currently offering. And so by doing this, we can actually partner with existing event applications to bolster their ultimate offering product, which attracts additional customers looking for something that they may not actually have to pay for, looking for the additional special. By doing this, we're actually reaching across mobile and web platforms as well as multiple event destinations, ultimately bringing, again, more eyes to the business event and thus more customers to the business.
So I mentioned the 5 to 7% annual marketing budget. Right now, where is that money going? The status quo is to kind of spend money in a broadcast format and most likely engage with customers who aren't interested in what you're broadcasting. Either they're blocking your ads or they're not picking up your flyers. And a lot of the social media marketing that is definitely hyped is a low ROI for the time commitment it requires for social media managers and business owners. So that money is going to go somewhere. And I think people are looking for a better option. So the Corkboard business model is a subscription cost monthly for the businesses who use the portal. And we have a try before you buy model where they spend nothing on the first event. This allows them to use the platform, see the value it provides, market existing events, understand where the new customers are coming from. And they can move up to a premium subscription when they want to advertise more events. And then they can keep ratcheting up there as they need more events advertised. In terms of how this feels throughout the marketplace of event-oriented applications, OpenTable is a $200 a month subscription, and Yelp is a variable pricing model, but it starts at $300 a month.
So Corkboard's current focus is the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. There are approximately 16,000 small businesses in the D.C. area. Of those, approximately 2,200 are food and beverage related, which offer pretty regular, recurring, and special events. We're targeting the 5% of that, so about 111 businesses. And in that, we're hoping to attract this 5% by around July or August of this year. And in doing so, have a month-to-month revenue of about $6,000, which would cover current costs of $25 a month of data and server services. The majority of the cost, this precludes the developer costs, which the lion's share is covered by myself and Trevor. And so with that, I have 10 years of experience in data and in data analysis and management, as well as web development. I'm currently a graduate student of the GW School of Business and a veteran of 6 years of the U.S. Air Force. My focuses with Corkboard are business strategy, marketing, sales, product vision, as well as developer support.
And by day, I'm a partner at an enterprise software engineering firm based in New York City, and I have several years of experience with bringing early products, MVPs specifically, to market, and I oversee the architectural and technical direction of the Corkboard product. In terms of team growth, we want to move more into sales and marketing in 2017 because we have a pretty deep technical bench filled by Luke and myself.
And so with that, we partner with local restaurant general managers to assist with iterating on our product and building in features that the businesses are looking for. Additionally, we have a mentor with 20 plus years of experience in this realm.
So in 2016, we oversaw the live beta release of several of our MVPs, and these are already available right now. They're out there. We're collecting feedback, also iterating and doing some maintenance with them as well. And they provide a great roadmap for our 2017 goals of acquiring more businesses into the platform. So we're going to take more of a sales and marketing focus where we're focused on getting new businesses into the platform. One of the ways we'd like to do this is engage in partnerships with PR firms as well as restaurant groups, and also partner with third-party applications who can also broker our data, basically get it out there for us in a value-add model. And finally, the last goal being improving the number of consumer eyeballs we have on all of our existing marketing channels, and they all kind of go into each other and provide value to each other. In terms of our growth of operational budget, you can see sales and marketing is going to go way up for 2017, and our development costs will stay abnormally low, as we mentioned.
And so with that, we're at Corkboard. Thank you for your time.
How do you get the restaurants or the bars, things like that, how do you get them to understand or to give you credit? Like if they have an increased attendance at their event, how do they measure the success of your efforts?
Sure. So
if it goes up 10%, how do you take credit for that?
So we'll be using something called Bitly or link tracking. So as we serve the data out to multiple app destinations, those links we're able to track the clicks and we're able to track the essential web flow. Okay. And so if we see an uptick, we'll query and look for a correlation between business consumption during the times that we're offering those events and the clicks that we have through our service.
Will you be able to get to the point where you can predict the attendance at events?
Conceivably, because it's
data?
Because it's data. Like so, currently we have about just under 2,000 different event-based different events with their pricing, right? So the data is there to do analytics on, whether that's price analytics, like, hey, your happy hour is about $4 more expensive than all your current competitors, or hey, when you lowered your happy hour price by $1, we saw 5 more clicks per day. So we look at it from a data perspective and try to offer that.
The numbers seemed kind of small. Revenue numbers seem kind of small. Where do you see this going?
So that was the initial projection is by July we're looking at $6,000. If you have aggressive growth in the DC area targeting these small businesses and expanding laterally, you're looking at what we're hoping for is by 2018 of January, you're looking at about $1.2 million for about 14,000 businesses. If you have a rapid growth and expansion of about 100% month over month.
Can I add something to this?
Mm-hmm.
By focusing on one market, we essentially have a franchise model here where we can take the application, which of course scales infinitely, and planted in any other city we want, particularly along the eastern seaboard. And the fact that we are based in different cities here is helpful for that. So this is a DC projection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of other markets we can go to after that.
And you said franchise, are you talking about literally franchising it?
No, I just mean the sense that we could take every lesson we've learned and the whole experience from the DC metro area and apply that to a new metro area.
Yes.
Can you talk specifically about how you'll be attracting the consumer eyeball?
Sure. So from the consumer perspective, we're adopting a data model. So similar to the concept of Google Maps or Google Places, we provide the data to third-party applications that are interested in already attracting consumers. So that would be some of those businesses you saw, such as Fever, Eventbrite, All Events In. These are businesses that are already basing their business model on offering as many events as possible. The problem is they don't have this local event, these local small businesses offering something. So we would provide them the data, and then they already have a consumer base. So that data would just serve to attract additional people already on their destinations. So we're not in the destination space.
Okay. And what is your target acquisition cost per event or per dollar?
Per dollar. So
is
we're
that coming from a salesperson, primarily live selling?
Yeah, so primarily live selling. We do have current marketing campaigns that use automated emails that allow a business to update, to add an event through their inbox, as well as we have Twitter campaigns. So that would be marketing pushing towards basically door-to-door selling and sales, and hopefully gaining traction in that.
Meaning you don't plan on having feet on the ground?
No, I'm sorry.
Also,
So
or that's
yeah, we do
augment
plan
that?
on having basically feet on the ground, going door to door, selling this. We look to incentivize that in several different ways. Our goal is to hire a part-time sales force to basically accomplish that, where they're rewarded by sign-ups.
I'm a little confused. So no one's actually going to go to Corkboard.
Exactly. So we don't have to be the destination because we have the data. What we end up doing is we increase the footprint that our businesses are desiring by sending the data for free to other event application services. So all those events, all those applications you saw on that competitor slide could conceptually consume the data and then increase the reach of this business exponentially, because they all have their own customers going and looking for something to do. They just don't have local small business data in there. So we don't have to be the destination. Just like Google Maps, we just service the places, and someone else uses those in their own business model.
Well, like Google Maps, I can go to Google Maps if I want to.
Sure.
So could someone go to Corkboard if they wanted to? Or you don't, that's not at all in your plan?
It might be in the future. We're trying to avoid the destination space because it is particularly crowded and it's very difficult to work on customer acquisition in two spaces. So we don't want to work on consumer acquisition at the same time we're working on business acquisition. So we find it more streamlined.
And do you need to actually make any agreements with these other sites, or do you just sort of shove the data up there?
Well, we would look for a symbiotic relationship, basically. If we're doing them a favor by offering them additional information that they can use to entice onlookers, but we're also pushing people their direction. So we're essentially advertising on their behalf, saying, because we have our own marketing channels that speak to consumers, we're pushing consumers there. So they have a vested interest in hosting our data from a multiple perspective. And so in that, we stay out of the dashboard and we stay out of the dashboard and the event space from the consumer angle. And should we grow to a point, then we can build our own map, so to speak. We have a beta that we actually provide as a service, that we provide as a destination to attract additional consumers, but that's not our primary focus.
Did you say you're going to have full-time sales reps?
So we're looking at hiring, just for cost perspectives, we're looking at hiring a part-time where they're rewarded based on business signups, where a part-time student or intern would basically go around providing the value proposition to local businesses and trying to entice them into at least a freemium account where they can try out the service for themselves.
Why do you think that the Eventbrites of the world haven't gotten into the smaller event space like this?
You want to hang on?
Yeah, sure. I think the data here is inherently very unstructured. So one of the big things about ticketed-based events is there's an existing structure that actually even predates the internet that we understand from that, the idea of a ticket vendor then taking commission to publicize the event. And this stuff is super, super unstructured. I mean, you read blogs or you read publications to hear about, oh, this cool happy hour is happening near me. And I think it's complicated for them. And because it's not their core business, they don't want to add on, you know, what to them is an add-on service. It's definitely not a focus point for them. But, you know, our goal here is to structure this, is to make it a, you know, post once, publish anywhere kind of thing, where our data for these kind of events is structured in a manner that anyone can consume it from any of the different distribution channels. And then all of a sudden, if you tell Eventbrite, you don't have to go out to businesses. You don't have to go and shake hands with these guys that collect this. You're going to get a data feed. It's an API. It's accessible today. It's free. Throw it in. Give it to your developers. And then add value to your core offering. That's a much stronger proposition for them to go out and do what's essentially grunt work for them.
So this might be a basic question, but whenever I go to Eventbrite and I sign up as a consumer, the event is hosted by somebody. So will the small businesses need to give you their Eventbrite credentials so that you can post? Is that how it works?
So
you can post it on, so it doesn't say hosted by Corkboard?
Not necessarily. How Eventbrite deals with the data and an interface is kind of up to them, but just as a theoretical example, we would just give them the feed, so to speak, and they can structure that in any way possible. They could have their own local events tab that says, these are all your local happy hours, these are all your local brunches, and basically create a various destination. It's not posting on their behalf using the True service. What it does is it offers Eventbrite a different offering that is still in the same space, but is unique in that it's local and not ticketed.
So, up your alley, this idea that you go out to restaurants in this, let's say, food and beverage in this market you're describing, and you offer this post once, publish everywhere, or publish once, post everywhere, whatever the description is, but I get the gist. These restaurants are often pretty low tech. Is there a good likelihood that they're going to say, hey, if I'm going to give you this information, you're going to publish everywhere, can you also take care of getting it on my social media platform? Can you post this for me on Facebook and Twitter and my, you know what I mean? Will they want you to be an intermediary for all of their social media needs?
That's conceivable. So what we already do is we have our own Twitter feed, and we tag them when we post happy hours as basically just a marketing tool. So anybody looking at our feed is also seeing their information and has it linked. Conceivably, I'm not sure if they would want us to that point, but it becomes very easy to do to have them have this data put on their website. So when they update on Corkboard, it updates on their website. It's very easy for us to make it accessible for a social media platform that they want to post on. Well, in partnering with PR firms and restaurant groups, what we're doing is the PR firm typically handles a lot of this, but they're paying this PR firm to do this, and it's not, as we said, it's not generating the kind of ROI they're looking to. So if they have their PR firm just post in the Corkboard, we essentially replaced some of this rote movement that they've done.
I do think, to add to that though, it is as simple as a feature build out, really. I mean, if you think about it, when you go to YouTube, you link your Twitter account, right? And then it automatically posts to your Twitter to say, hey, I just posted this event. So if we were to have businesses come in and link their Facebook and Twitter profiles for the business, now granted, there still has to be some hand-holding there because you just said they're low tech. But if they did that, that's not a huge build out for us, and it piggybacks on exactly what we have now. So to me, that's in the cards. The question is it the most important thing to do?
Do you have an example of a successful company that's relied on young, untrained, inexperienced, part-time salespeople?
I don't offhand, no. I think that just comes from kind of a need. So between myself and Trevor, it would be me on the sales and marketing side, and I'm one person, so we'd have a need for me to hire additional folks to push the product, so to speak, and engage businesses. Now, we're looking at potential consumers of this information, so we're looking at younger folks who are interested in this type of information, so they can actually market from the perspective that, hey, I consume this information and it's hard to find. I'm having a hard time finding you. So if you market through us, people like me will find it easier and will attend more.
You show 16,000 in revenue this year. Where do you think it's going to be in year 5?
So, so it was 6,000 month-over-month revenue. If you just, oh,
Sorry.
okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.